Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold stream. On today's stream, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and I'm going to take a break from the theme Chronicle, even though I thoroughly enjoy it. Mostly because I feel like y'all maybe not as... Y'all may not be enjoying it as much. So because of that, we're going to be playing just regular ranked today. And just climbing. That's the goal. That's pretty much it. No other thoughts. Head empty. However, with that being said, there is one thing I do want to talk about, which I accidentally opened Discord. Whoops. Now I gotta close that. Don't you love when you just accidentally hit the wrong thing on your taskbar, and then a random thing opens up, and you're like, oh great, now I have to deal with this. That's my favorite. Enjoy any content you make? I'm glad you're enjoying it, Jam. I could play the theme Chronicle for frickin' ever, dude. It's great. I really do enjoy it. It's a good time. That's all I gotta say. Alright. This is one I wanted to talk about. My stream is lagging. Sorry. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the current metagame in the OCG because it's really cool. First of all, Blue Eyes is the best deck once again. You love to see it. As much as, like, Blue Eyes in the past was really boring and certainly insufferable, the Blue Eyes Primite in particular happens to be just kind of like a revitalization of a fan favorite archetype. So for the most part, I don't really feel like this is a bad deck to play against, nor is it necessarily a bad deck to play. It just kind of feels like a revitalized Blue Eyes, and the fact that you don't have to play 3 of this guy, you only have to play 2, which like helps significantly, and a bunch of stuff like that. You're not just going to randomly brick as well. You can play non-engine, etc., etc. So overall, pretty cool. Right, that happens to be the best deck. Or at least the best performing. I don't know if it's necessarily the best deck, but it is the best performing. It's showing up the most in Top Cut. And then we have a bunch of decks. Well, to be fair, it seems like there are 3 kind of clear-cut top decks. Blue Eyes, Malice, Orcust, which tends to be a very fun format when it is like 3, maybe 4 decks at the top, and then a bunch of decks kind of still in a similar power level, but definitely not as dominant or as relevant. And we can see that here, right? Malice is the next to best, which basically got no hits on the last ban list, so it's still incredibly good and still showing up quite prevalent in the OCG. And then we have Orcust as well, receiving new support, mostly in the form of, it now has a Link 1, which means you now actually have the ability to use any of your normal, or any of your, like, normal summonable Orcust monsters to do full combo, which is fantastic. So now there's, like, more, basically, stuff to do, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing with Orcust. It does kind of the same thing that it did previously, except for now with, like, more materials and easier access to said combo. And then it also plays some of the like high power 1-card engine kind of things, which is kind of funny. But then, of course, we still have Ryzeal around in the metagame. We have Gem Knights, which are now less of an FTK and more of an actual real deck. And then, of course, we have Memento as well, and then a whole bunch of other really interesting decks. Voices Voice, Pendulum still running around. Crystron happens to be something of note. It's in the Chinese game, I guess, for lack of a better term, in like the Chinese version of Yu-Gi-Oh, where like a bunch of stuff is not there. Crystron happens to be like the second best deck or something along those lines, behind Malice. So that's something of note. Like Crystron's actually fairly good. There's a bunch of other stuff like that are still running around that are still fairly decent, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the OCG while they do have some of the funniest ban lists, sometimes they just, due to like product release cycles, they end up having like really fun metas like this. And I'm really excited for something like this in the TCG. Hopefully it doesn't get ruined by like Kashtira or like Fiendsmith or something stupid like that. It probably will, but let's hope. Anyway, let's continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! What do I want to play is the question. Probably just like voiceless, right? Yeah. Can't wait to get the Link one in 3 years. True. True. Starry Night. I want to win. As much as I enjoy Starry Night, I do want to win. No. No. Yeah, hate to see it. Well, we could play Lab. I haven't played Lab in a while. That's what I should do. This hand would be really good going first, and it's kind of mid going second. In fact, it's like really bad going second. In fact, we lose going second. In fact, I think there's nothing that I can do to beat a fully established voiceless voice board unless they link off for Dynamondo. Unless they specifically link off Dynamondo, or link off into Dynamondo, I think we're just cooked. There's not really anything I can do here. Yup. They might link off here with Dynamondo, depending. They might not. They might not. But I'm pretty sure this is like, yeah, this is just like a really, really bad hand. They grabbed low? Why'd they grab low? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah? They are gonna go Dynamondo. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you kind of have to here. Do they have Saravis? Maybe? Not the ritual, but like the actual Saravis. Oh, Maximus. Ew, nasty. Please send some stuff so that I can absolutely rip apart your board for free. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. It's actually just better for me. Sick. Love to see it. Alright. This. And this. Pop the back row. Nice. Grab a Saravis of my own. They get to draw a card and search. I don't know what they're searching here. That would really do anything. Search the ritual spell. Sure. Summon. Why tribute the low there, as opposed to Maximus? What the fuck is Maximus? Pendulum Graph. Sure. Set one. Pass. Yeah. If that's the trap, we're kind of sad, but other than that, we're kind of okay. Yup. Dynamondo. This forces out the spell negate. Unless they choose not to negate that, which would be very silly. But I could see them randomly doing that. For reasons unknown. So likely they grab the trap here if they don't already have it, and if they do already have it, they're gonna grab the blessing. Oh right, they needed barrier. Never mind, forget everything I just said there. We'll go barrier of the voiceless. Coolio. We will go for Saphira. Called by? No. Interesting. Interesting. Add this guy. We will activate Blessing. Coolio. We'll normal summon the low. We'll go Chainlink 1, low. Chainlink 2. This guy. We are thinking. We are going to negate. Cool. That's fine. Yup. Low's going to grab the trap. Coolio. We're going to go barrier here. We are going to grab Sorovis. We're going to slap down Sorovis, returning you and you. Sorovis. Summon limit. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's do this. We will return the Skull Guardian in order to special low to our field. We'll special summon this guy. Coolio. I think I could just pass here. Yeah, we'll just pass. We just negate to get that guy into the pendulum zone, or into the face-up extra, so that he's basically impossible to get. What's up, Dakota? We'll go Radiance. Sure. They probably have, like, Entis to send here. Yeah, Entis Malong. I guess we'll send Elf and Dark. Entis kind of sucks, but I'm really not too concerned about that one, actually. Oh, did you realize that that was fucking stupid to send both of these? Yeah, you did. That's crazy. They gonna, like, crash? Probably. Yeah. It's fine. It's exactly what they did. Doesn't like that in movies? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Coolio. Diviner actually really sucks here. Not a whole lot I can do about that, but like it's not grand. It's not grand. Let us grab up Skull Gradient. And let's ritual summon him. Yeah, you dumbass. Why the fuck did you crash there? Like, you can't crash there. You don't have any follow-up. That game should not have been close. Bro had summon limit and everything, and he just, like, decided to, I don't know, have a stroke. At the very least, it would have made sense if they just, like, walked over my 2 lows, but they just didn't. Like, you could have just walked over the 2 lows and then, like, left me on a dead guy who, like, doesn't do anything. I don't know. They did stuff. They did stuff and things. Alright. Ash? No. Sick. Grab the boy. Da boy. Alright. Let's do this. How much more inconsistent is 43 to 44? Not a ton, but noticeably. Tribute the nib. Summon this guy. Ash, tragic. I pretty much just lose now. There's like very, very little that I can do here. I could summon, I could give them another draw. I think I just pass and just like hope. I just don't have anything. But I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Like, you know, Maxi Ash is really tragic. And likely they have another sort of hand trap. Dang. That's really unlucky. How much do I want to bet they have low as well? And then I just get cooked. They're going to tribute low here, right? Do I have a... Do I realistically have a chance here? No, not really. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think at this point it's playable. That's just unlucky. Voices is one of the best decks in the game right now, so it's not surprising. If not, the best deck. At least for ranked. By the way, that guy's name was an insult. That's not surprising. This hand is... It's, you know, it's something. That was a terrible maxi. Wait, what the fuck? What the hell were they playing around? They weren't. True. True. Alright, we'll go like this. We'll go like this. We'll add Sravis. We'll go this. Summon this guy, tribute this guy. Imperm? Nice. It's actually really good. Sure. Blessings. Blessings. Add back the Saphira. Yeah, we'll just set this. Knew it. As expected. We'll go like this. Use set effect. We will shuffle. Do you have Ash as well? Yeah, I figured. Shuffle away this one. Summon this one. Nice. Sometimes you're just better and just draw better. That was literally it. I just drew all of the cards that I exactly needed to draw. That game was not a game. Going second. Yep. Against Voiceless. Probably. What should be like branded or something terrible? Yep. It's too easy. It's too easy! Yep. Yep, Trios. Trios. Fua. This at least plays into Nib. At least more. It plays into Nib more. Saphira. Sure. Add the guy. Yup. Unless they do something like really weird, we should be fine. Blessing. We also probably don't ever actually drop the Nib here. Do they have the trap already? Maybe. Triple tack, look. Tragic. I have to draw like really well off the top here. How much do I bet they have called by? Out comes Saravis. Sure. Is there anything I can draw off the top here? I don't think I'm playing Super Poly, so no, probably not. I think I'm just dead. Yeah, that's like a really, really, really bad draw. That's a really bad draw. I told you. I told you exactly what it would be. Yep. Unlucky. I win that coin flip. I win that game. It's pretty simple. Great hand. Yep. Yep, that's what I figured. I'm like, if you're starting with that, your hand is probably terrible. In terms of starters, specifically. Do you have Droll? Ash? Sure, sure. Alright. Give me the extra. We're gonna banish the Romulus. Maxi. Nope. Interesting. I'm not going to give them a Bestial card here, because that could be highly detrimental for me. So I don't want to do that. So we'll go normal summon low here. Low effect. Okay, we'll go combat. I think I just pass here. Could go Dynamondo, though. Honestly, it's probably still worth it to do that, huh? How many summons would this be? 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be 5. Yeah. I think we go Radiance here, right? That makes the most sense. Yeah. Collapse Serpent. Do I just banish this? No, that's fine. Yep. Out comes Striker Dragon. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Grab boot sector. Yep. Grab Wyver burster. Let's grab. Who's probably best here? This guy? Access code? This guy? Maybe seal? We'll banish the Borland. We can't go Rommels. They could go Seals. SP. Nah. Return this one. Summon this guy. Maybe I'll win this coin flip. Maybe. Probably not. Told you. Not great. Not bad, but not great. We've been at the rank up like 4 times. The problem is there's not a good Ash here, so if they have, yeah, we're just cooked. Yeah, we're just kind of cooked, aren't we? I'm almost certain of it. Called by? Orange light. Pitching. What? Wait, hold on. What? What? Ranking games are always the most miserable. Yeah. I always get really bad luck. Like the first, whenever I'm ranking up, I have to get to the rank up game about 4 or 5 times before I actually get a game that is even remotely playable. And then my opponent leaves. Always. 1000% of the time. Can we talk about how terrible all of these cards are? And how just like poorly designed they are? Just across the board. Can I do... That was it? Damn, that's funny. Damn, that's crazy. No shot, that was it. That had to have been a joke, right? I guess I just win the game. That's crazy. Just wild to think about. Isn't Called By such a cool card? How goes the climb? It goes, that's for sure. I know both of the cards in hand, right? It's the field spell and the Manadium, right? Yeah, so they're dead. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. Yeah, see? My rank up games are always bad. They're always really bad. That one was at least, like, remotely more interesting. Not a whole lot more, but like at least remotely. There's no way there was nothing left to do there. Can't you just like normal summon this guy? We didn't. Oh, we normal summoned that guy. Could we not have grabbed Reichardt off of? No. It's because they grabbed Vsauce off of Reichphobia instead of grabbing this guy. I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I don't get it, mate. Where? All right. Let's play lab, but a good lab. Do we play simultaneous equation cannon? Yes, probably. Don't know about those. Take out the runic cards. We'll take out duality. We'll take out this guy. What else? I think I'd rather not play simultaneous equation cannon. And here's my reasoning. I think having access to the extra deck is actually more value than not. And while I do think that simultaneous equation cannon is extremely good, the thing that made simultaneous equation cannon so good was big build-a-board decks. And right now, there aren't a whole lot of those. There's like Yubel, yes. Which is good, yes. But on the ranked ladder, there's a lot more variety. And if there's a bunch of variety, I feel like simultaneous is not as useful. Because it's a lot more difficult to actually set up. Like against Tenpai, simultaneous is like terrible. Rollback, no, rollback's terrible. And rollback is really bad in Lab. At least in Master Duel, because you only have 2 apiece of Stovey, Torby, and Chandelier, so you're a lot less likely to actually put it into the grave. Why do we run Piri in Weather Painter? Because your best starter is Snow, which you almost always want to search, and then Normal. Anyway, I think we want Punishment. Dogmatica style. Now the question is, do I run more hand traps? And if I do, what would I play? Probably like Nibiru or Nibiru's kind of okay, but not great. It's probably like Droll. Droll's not exceptional, but it's decent. Droll. And I mean, we could play like Fua, Perulia, etc. I don't know how worthwhile that is, though. We could play Super Poly, which I don't hate, but I don't love. You ever think about that, chat? You just think about, what do we actually play here? Could cut down on Trap Trick and play. We probably want a 3 of. That helps. It's probably Fua, right? Oh, you're right. It's the Roach. I forgot that the Roach is not banned. You're right. You're right. You're right. Forget I said anything. Yeah, it's that guy. It's the Roach. I've been playing so much Theme Chronicle, I just like genuinely forgot that the Roach was a thing. I hate it here. I was like, oh yeah, Fua loss. Like that's all we have to contend with. Smile. That looks. I don't love that. I don't hate it though. I don't hate it. We gotta play 2 of this. And we play Nib. I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, I don't even know how I feel about Dimensional Barrier, but like Dimensional Barrier is okay. Blackout for what? Blackout's pretty mid, all things considered. And the reason for it being not great is the same reason why Rollback isn't great. And it's because we only have 2 apiece of Soviet and Chandelier. It'd be better if you could, like, on the first turn, pitch with one of your furnitures to, like, put it in grave and then, like, do a thing. But that's, like, a lot more unlikely. You could run Ariane. You'd like to see me play Drytron? I hate to break it to you, that's never gonna happen. I despise Drytron and all of its game plans. I find them extremely boring, and I'm not fond of any of their ideas. Drytron is something that, even though Ritual is my favorite summoning mechanic, I will never play. Gosh dang it. Entes, Garura, Bucephalos, Cracker, Dark, SP, Typhon. It's Ty-Fawn, right? Is there anything else I play? Bagoo? No, there's not really a reason to play Bagooska. Or like any rank 4 for that matter. Nightmares. We could play Underworld Goddess. For like outs to tower. We have outs to towers. We don't need that. We could play Varudras doesn't do anything. We could play. What am I thinking of? There's like other cards that we generally play. Hey, Link monsters? Yeah, we could do that. We could play, what is it, Clara and something? Clara and Rushka? Yeah, I don't hate that. What do we generally normally play? It's a good question. I don't know. Do we play the Promethean OTK? I don't think so. I think we play Link Karibo at the very least for this. Or is it Anima? It's probably Anima, right? Baguska? Yeah, we could. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I feel like there's something I'm missing. There's a card that I normally play. I don't remember. It's a hand, to say the least. It does something. Surprising. Do I grab Kuklok? Do I grab Arius? Probably Kuklok, right? They have like Ash here. I'm kind of sad. I'm also kind of just dead. If they do. I don't want to summon Lovely, but there's not really a better option here, is there? What do we set? We set a Trap Trick. I think that's the option. We go like this. We summon you. Do we bounce Ariana? I really want to, but I don't think it makes sense to bounce it. As opposed to Lady. Let's see what my opponent's playing. Watch it be tier. That was close. Sure. This is actually a pretty good matchup for me, all things considered. Sure. We have Grave Squirmer. They just elected not to use. Immediately shuffle back for Phantom, right? Yep. Figured. Yeah, that's fine. Opening. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Coolio, before we continue. Do you have called by? Yep. Ah, it's cross out. Understandable. Mm-hmm. Wheel special Arius and then bounce the Arius. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I shouldn't have gone Arius there. That was kind of stupid. Because we could just special summon with Ariana. Yeah. Yeah, I should have grabbed, like, Sylvie Torby or something like that. It's all good. Destroy a card in hand. No. You can only activate one of these? Yeah. You pop that guy. Out comes Yubble. Sure, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Extra normal. Sure, they could contact here, right? Do I know anything in hand? I know nothing in hand, right? No, I know the opening in hand. Okay, we'll go Trap Trek here. I'm actually not gonna go Lady here, so that they don't have a chance to respond to Daruma. Darduma. We'll go Daruma. And then we'll go like this. Grab a welcome. Sure. Coolio. Cool. Normal summon Ariana. Ariana effect. Let's grab... I guess we grab Stovey Torby here. Let's go Stovey Torby. Pitch this guy. Yup. Set the big welcome. Grab Kuklock. No, nothing special. Add it back to hand. We'll go Kuklock. We'll go welcome here. Okay. Summon this guy. We'll go big welcome. We will set probably Daruma here. Makes the most sense. Yeah, we'll set Daruma. Darduma. Big welcome for the big guy. Bounce this one. We'll go Chinook 1, this guy. Link 2, this guy. Yup, yup, yup. Nope. We're gonna destroy the Terror Incarnate. So that it misses timing. Coolio. Yep. That's just them being yelled at. They're like, oh my gosh, you missed timing! You're not allowed to miss timing! Alright, we'll go combat here. Attack. I figured, hence why I kept the called by. Fuck you and yours. Yeah. Nice rank up, dipshit. The mistiming window is next level BM? Absolutely. They're like, by the way, you can't activate this. And you're like, why? Why would you tell me? Why would you tell me that? I didn't want to know. No, I'm going second. Nice. Great hand. Should have probably just fired the Maxi, but I was busy. Please be unbelievably based and cool. They're not. Tragic. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, add the Poplar. Yeah. Look who Karacha. Surely you have Ash, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What does Snake Eyes do? It links. It's just a bunch of bodies for free. Putting Ash. Oh, they put Ash into the back row. They actually have a brain. Interesting. Why is there a Flomberg on the field? Well. Yeah. It could be Fire King also. Well, of course it's Fire King. It's always Fire King. Fire King Island, sure. Pop that guy. Yep. Oh? Do you have Arvada? That'd be crazy. No, just the Ponix. Sure. We'll nib them. Maxi? Please, Maxi. Fuck yeah, dude. Ah, it's too goddamn easy. Alright. Kuklok. And Chandra. set this. Mm-hmm. Special summon? No. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They can make Dark here. And Steel into Promethean. Into what? Stare at me? Pretty much. I guess they could make Amblo, but that like sucks. SP, sure. Mm-hmm. Oogie. Oogie. Cool. Uh-huh. Alright, bud. Let's do this again. Fire King? Right. I forgot that those cards are fair and balanced. Putting back the Flomberg, sure. Add Oak. Yep. Put back to Flomberg. Normal Oak. Oak effect. Targeting. Onyx. Called by here is like really bad at this point, so I think we just go for the Roach. Mm-hmm. I really wish they banned in the TCG Flomberg instead of Original Sin, because that's just like the better choice. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. I lose. Like, there's no way I get out of this. So there's that. Coup Clock doesn't do anything. Punishment, but then they just tag out. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of tragic. I guess I could have played into the Maxi, but it wouldn't have mattered. Like, at that point, they just, like, still do whatever they needs to. But, like, yeah, I could have then... Yeah. I should have just played into the Maxi and given them, like, the 2 draws. It would have been infinitely better. Flomberg is... I get why it's not banned, because it's, like, the boss monster of Snake Eye, so banning it kind of doesn't make sense. But it's also one of those cards where it's just like, no, this is very clearly the issue, and, like, if you ban this, it solves a lot of the problems that Snake Eye in particular has, as being, like, Snake Eyes. So, that's pretty much it. We'll go Welcome here. Ash. Red Reboot. You fucker. Speaking of problems, I love cards that entirely invalidate Just every card? Yeah. You know, like Raigeki or Lightning Storm or Red Reboot that just says, you don't have, you don't get to play. You don't get to play the game. I don't understand how Konami still has that card legal in Master Duel. It went from 1 to 2 in Master Duel, and I cannot explain to you what their thought process was behind ever doing that. Because it does not make a lick of sense. It is the most illogical shit imaginable. Because realistically, there's no reason for that to be that way. They're just like, fuck it, B-ball. Huh? Is this tier? Probably. Gearsu. Gearsu. We could go Chandra here, but I don't think there's... how good is Dimensional Barrier here? Kinda not really. Yeah. Well, it's kind of okay, but it's really not. It's probably just all Link monsters. Maybe there's some Xyz in there, but I think Dimensional Barrier is just not worth it against this. So we're going to set the Welcome here. We're going to go Lovely. We're going to reset this. Hiwa. Hiwa. Go like that. Pass. We'll go Welcome here. And then they Red Reboot me and I lose. Okay. I summon Ariana. Ariana grab. Lovely. Yeah. Imperm? No. Sick. Added this guy. Do I think that there can be healthy board breakers? Yes. Cards like Triple Tack or Droplet, absolutely. They're fantastic cards. Cards that are just board wipes are fundamentally flawed. I think that they are poorly designed if there's just, here's a big remove the field button. It's like, oh, that's dumb. But there's a ton of, like, really solid... Like, even Dark Ruler No More, I'm like, yeah, that's a fine card. Cat, get fucked. Because there's a ton of ways to play around it. Sphere is one of the healthiest board breakers out there. I actually disagree. I think if you have to tribute a card to give it to your opponent, it's probably not healthy. In fact, I'd dare say that it's unhealthy. If you have to, like, give your opponent something to prevent them from immediately killing you. I don't know what nonsense they're on, but I hate it. Seeing these 4 cards, I'm immediately unhappy. Parallel. Do they only have the one field spell, or do they draw multiple? Because this guy didn't search, which is hilarious to think about. Uh-huh. Add a rival. Sure, sure. I could book here. Because I know 2 of the cards in hand. How good is that? Not very, because of this. No, but then they wouldn't have anything on field to send for. Does parallel exceed? I know this. What does this say? Yeah, I think I Daruma here. They haven't normaled, so they could normal something here. Adventure token. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. That's really, really bad for me. Unlucky. That was the last... That was their hand. Hold on. It was this. This? That's criminal. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I knew I should have held it longer. Just waited. Yeah, that was stupid. You just target the background. What? Why? Surely we target the back row, right? Like 1,000,000% of the time we target the back row. Yeah? Harpour. Yeah, I'll go for the Chandra here. Cool. We'll set the big welcome. We'll go Kuklok. Nope. Harpour. Symbol skeleton. The hell? Sure. Lava Golem, you also have to basically forego your normal summon for it. So, it's still really annoying. Hold on, wait, huh? The hell are we playing? Wait, are we not playing the field spell in Orchist? Oh, we're using the Orchist engine as a way to get Crescendo. That's a choice, I guess. I love it. That was certainly something. Mana with those cards. Yeah, they could have. They could have done a lot with those cards, and they chose to do probably the worst thing that they probably could have done, which was basically nothing. Imperm, Ash, one of the two. Impermanence. Let's fucking go. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Sure. Set one. Set. I should go Chandra here, right? Yeah, clearly. I think Imperm's like way worse here. Then big welcome. Sure. Knew it. Comedy. Salmon Great can't really beat Nib. That being said, if this is just randomly a normal summon Pydra, then I do lose. Probably. Oh, that's hilarious. They had two of them. Uh-huh. Add Gazzle. Add Fire. Sure. Yeah, that's okay. Uh-huh. I kind of want to go Chandelier here, like, immediately, just to get cards I don't want to see out of the deck. But I think that doesn't really make sense to do. Most Worm archetypes don't do much. Worm is technically still relatively new, and it's mostly like a secondary archetype to Dragon. So it doesn't really, like, Konami's not incentivized to have a whole bunch of Worm archetypes. The Lions lost? Wait, that's wild. I had them going all the way. That's tragic. I don't really watch football, but my brother keeps up with it. So, like, I keep up with it through him. And let me tell you, I was rooting for them. I also just wanted to see a new team win. Because they're one of the few teams that have yet to win a Super Bowl. So I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. And then they didn't. And now I'm sad. We'll grab Big Welcome here. Coolio. I'm gonna go combat. The incorrectly named sport? What do you mean? Reset, I guess, Imperm. Be my best bet. We'll go Cool Clock. It's called football, but yeah, you use mostly your hands. Yeah. And? Doesn't mean it's incorrectly named. You still use your feet. And it's... The shape of the ball is not exactly shaped like a ball. It's kind of shaped like a foot. Or like an egg. Call it egg ball. But that's not very... Who's gonna watch egg ball? So call it football. Tragic. Yeah, it was 1000% roar. Was the game is determined by running? Handball was already taken. Was it already taken? I think handball is newer than football. Oh, sick. Fire the Roach. Egg ball sounds like a football parody. Exactly. You see my point. It's like, yeah, like, egg ball doesn't really make sense. Bro's name is Infernoble. If this is actually Infernoble, I'm gonna cry. You got it. Fun. Egg ball has a nice ring to it for a sport. At least he was honest. True. This hand is peak comedy. Holy. Yeah. Activate another one. Damn. I really hoped they activated another one. Alright. Either you got it or you don't, buddy. Either you got it or you don't. It's pretty simple. Yup, yup, yup. Yup, yup, yup. Ready? Harpies. Or is it going to be Lightning Storm this time? Wyvern. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Ancient Gear Advance. Sure. What does Advance say? When this card is activated, add an Ancient Gear spell trap. Sure. Yep. Catapult. Sure, sure. What does this one do? Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. Is this an on-summon effect? Yeah, tragically. Mm-hmm. Fua. They did have the Fua. I knew they did. It's pretty obvious. Uh-huh. Yup, yup, yup. Yup. Should I pop this guy? Probably. Yeah, drawing a card wouldn't have been bad. Okay. Sure. Yeah, kind of figured. They literally can't do anything if I don't have monsters. Like, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. Like, they just don't do anything. They stare at you. That's what they do. That's why this deck is ass. Because if your opponent passes on nothing, you literally cannot beat them. I'm doing alright, Dino. How are you doing? Whee. Whee. Well, I mean, to be fair, Ancient Gear can do more than that. It's just that most of the time, if you're going for the OTK, it doesn't do more than that. We'll set Prison here. Yeah, we'll go for this guy. What if I snipe the fusion spell? That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Pew! I was half expecting it. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let's go Chandra. Set Lab. Activate Lab. So lovely. We set this one. Hayas. Well, now they can't Lightning Storm me. So we are a fair bit safer. Urgent schedule. Yeah. We. Sure. Yeah. Should I be concerned here? Punishment. I'm gonna set barrier, which will cut him off with fusions. All right, let's go. Shrink 1. Shrink 2. And chaining 3, and we're not going to activate this one. Ultimate Slayer is cute. The special's from hand, right? Hand or grave. Right, right. Is this an on-summon effect? No. Okay, sure. Crazy. What's up, Ninja? How's it going? No fusions. Playing lab today? Nice. I always enjoy when I play lab, but I don't tend to do very well. Merchant schedule is a once per, right? Yeah. Let's not. Incredible. Never seen that token in my life. To be fair, most of the time, it doesn't get summoned. Like, I would imagine, like, 90% of the time it's never summoned. Or 90% of the games it's never summoned. Actually, probably closer to, like, 95. Sales ban? Damn, that's crazy. You have to Floodgate. As much as I understand the want to Floodgate, I actually think Lab is better without it. In Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I think it is better without it. Here's why. We have the ability... I mean, to be fair, I am playing Dimensional Barrier, which kind of works. We have the ability to play a bunch of cards and, like, high-power traps and to just, like, cook the opponent. But the problem is, certain Floodgates are really good against certain decks and really terrible against other decks. For example, Summon Limit. Really good against big combo decks. Really terrible against Stun, Lab, or Voiceless Voice. All of which are fairly common. Power Sink Stone, really good against big combo decks that needs to resolve their cards. Really bad against Horus, Lab, Voiceless Voice, etc. Right? So that's where it's like, it doesn't really, like, the only one I could realistically be like, yeah, you should play this one, is like Anti-Spell. But then you just kind of draw a dead card. And it's like, well, what if you go second? Right? So that's the thing, is like, because for two reasons, Lab in Master Duel is actually almost disincentivized to play Floodgates. And it's one, because you're playing up against a whole bunch of different decks that don't lose to the same Floodgates. And two, the fact that you have to go second means that it's way better to actually play cards that allow you to go second, right? Things that kind of like either turn end, like Maxi or Nibiru, or that just like actually play the game on the opponent's turn, like the Furnitures. So, yes, you can play more of a like, I'm just gonna go first style of build, but I know my luck, especially when it comes to the coin flip. And if I play Lab, I don't win the coin flip. So, I'm better off playing cards that allow me to at least interact with my opponent and either slow down their combo or entirely prevent it. So that's kind of my idea. I'm not going to say it's like better, but it's just like, it works for me. And I use Called By because Ash Blossom kills me, and I don't want to lose to Ash Blossom, and also Called By is just like the most busted card ever. I summoned Snake Eye Ash and chained Called By to a Veiler just for them to scoop and give me the rank up. Yep. Well, that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! I normally play going second decks? What? Till I start winning the flip more on bad luck days. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like, yeah, I just don't have the greatest of luck with Lab. That's pretty much it. The thing is, I probably should be playing Anti-Spell, but, like, there's not enough Tenpai for me to realistically be like, I should play a Floodgate that only works going first. It's like, I'll just be better than my opponent. Which generally works. This is a hand. How good is this hand? It's a good hand. It's not a great hand. It's a fine hand. It's... The question is, do I just normal summon the Ariana? I could normal summon Ariana, or I could special summon it with Arius. If I special summon it with Arius, it plays into the Maxi, it plays into Perulia. However, if I discard, and they do a thing, we get a special summon. So there's that. And then we special summon, and then that way if they interact, we would also be able to special summon from Grave. It's not like any of these are going to realistically do anything. Ariana is either going to get stopped or it's not. But this would allow me to keep this card in hand and potentially use one of these with the Arius later. I think I'm going to play around potential board wipes. And we're going to normal summon the Ariana. Interesting. Okay. Then we'll go Big Welcome. We'll go Arius. You have like Fua? You might have Fua. Ash? The Roach. That's fine. Okay. Cool. Kind of glad I did this the way that I did then. Makes this a fair bit better. Because now we can just add this back and then still not have to set, like, Daruma if we want to. I don't know if that's necessarily even worthwhile, but it's something. It's something we could do. Imperm? No. Just sniper card. Oh. Oh, it's bad sprite. Oh, it's like a bad sprite list. Okay. Then how worried am I about board wipes? A little, but not a ton. In fact, very little. Let's go big Welk. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I don't like Hero Kid. It's just a dead card. At the very least, Nimble Beaver, you can normal summon and like actually get meaningful advantage out of. Hero Kid is just kind of like a nothing card. You actively don't want to see him. Bet they were the 3 Hero Kids, probably. Could have also been like Nib, Triple Tack, Valor, stuff like that. It's just like really bad. It was probably not Valor though, to be fair, unless they drew it. Could have been like Imperm. They have a lot of like really dead cards in here. This list is oh, I really don't like this. Yikes. They did do one thing correctly, and that is their spell lineup for Sprite is perfect. This, somehow, some way, consistently, the Sprite players will play the wrong set of cards to search off of Jet. They'll play they'll play no Gamma Burst, they'll play no Smashers, they'll play the Trap, they'll play just Starter, and it's just like there are 5 non-negotiables in Master Duel. You can argue Gamma Burst not being necessary in something like a best of 3 format. In Master Duel, it is a necessary requirement. It is a godsend, and it wins games by itself. Like, it's godlike. Yeah. I don't like the Cash Tiras. I get them. I get why they're played. I just personally don't like them because they don't actually provide any value for the sprites themselves. But they're not terrible. However, they do need to be played with other ways to play the game. These Cash Tiras should always be considered non-engine instead of an engine, because they're not. They're not an engine piece. So they should always be considered a non-engine, right? Meaning, these should take up slots where, like, other non-engine would go. So think of them as, like, Imperm or Valors or stuff like that. And with that, it seems like this is, instead, more engine pieces. Which kind of works, but it also kind of doesn't. Right? Because now, you're basically relying on actually just, like, hard drawing your Sprite cards. One of the advantages that Sprite has is that it plays really well into hand traps, because if you get the 2 bodies onto the field, bada bing, bada boom, you can go Gigantic, and then on top of that, if they're, like, hand trapping you through that, like, cool, like, Gigantic's more likely to go through, something. Where's Sprint? I get, like, Sprint's not great in this list, but, like, you still play it. See, okay. I could talk about this list all day. Because it's got a lot of the signs of, like, building my own deck and, like, actually figuring out why we play these cards without any of the actual understanding and, like, the in-depth understanding of what Sprite does and why we play the cards that we do and why they work the way that they do. First of all, the biggest thing. Cross out target, cross out target, cross out target, cross out target. 1 cross out. Not a fan of that. What's the point of Arclight? Where? Where are you seeing Arclight? Oh, Herald? Herald is for the Melfies. You play Herald, you play Mary. Because you can make them. So let's start with Hero Kid. Hero Kid is a win more card. If you summon the Hero Kid, you're already winning. In reality, it's better to play something that actually does something. Right? The beavers, the frogs, the dark beckoning beasts, something like that. Something that like actually gets a play going. Hero Kid doesn't do that. Hero Kid by himself is just a dead card in your hand that you do not want to see under any circumstance. And you're playing 3 of them. Not great. Not great. Right? Actively, like, Hero Kid is actively detrimental to draw. Which is not something you want to put in your deck at 3. Right? At that point, play 3 Meow Mine, because at the very least, drawing it, like, does stuff. Right? Pixies is unnecessary if you're also playing Gamma Burst. Gamma Burst and Pixies do the same thing. You play one or the other. Generally, we play Gamma Burst because it's just easier. Most of the time you want to grab something else, like a red or a carrot off of blue. So it's easier to grab something off of Jet than it is to grab something off of blue. So that's generally why we play the Gamma Burst. Playing both, I'm not too opposed to, especially when we have less options for additional 2s. So there's that. Sure. Don't hate it. Not too big of a fan of it, but like, don't hate it. The Melfies are fine. Melfies are good. If you're going to play the Melfies, I think that's an appropriate amount. But the Melfies do not facilitate sprite stuff. You want to keep them in your hand. Like, you want to keep Melfi in your, Melfi Caddy in your hand. So that you can, like, special summon it during the end phase. So you're better off, like, normal summoning something else. So if you have to use this as your normal summon to get your sprites online, it's kind of bad. So, again, having something else to kind of start that combo, a little bit better. Meow Mine's fine, right? Like, all of this is fine. It's just, because of the Hero Kid, this becomes clunky. All 3 of these become clunky and, like, just, they're just win more cards. Right? Where it's like, oh, I'm already in a winning position. I should be able to close it out. Let me seal the deal and guarantee that I win the game. That's pretty much all it's doing. Which is one of those things where it's like, cool. Just, you could just be a better player and not have to play these bricks that just lose you games. Understandable. Okay, 3 Ash, 3 Maxi, 3 Infip is fine. I like playing Nibiru. I think playing Nibiru is just good. I would rather have seen 2 Nibiru than another one of these cross-out targets. The other thing is, like, do you genuinely think playing these one-ofs is worth it? Do you think... Because this is a big thing when it comes to deck building. If the card is important and you want to see it, you should probably be playing 3 of it. Right? Unless it's something for like a grind game, you should probably be playing 3 of it. Right? If it's not good, and it's something you don't want to see, you should probably be playing 0 of it. So, if you're... The question is it worth playing the cross-out targets if you're just going to play them for cross-out? Because, like, realistically speaking, do you really want to see Fua or Valor or Triple Attack or stuff like that? It's like, yeah, probably. In which case, you probably want them at more than 1 copy. So, yeah. Honestly, I would probably just put in, like, 3 Fua and just cut these 2. Or maybe cut Nib or something like that. But I think cross out at 1 makes a lot of people be like, oh, I'm going to play a whole bunch of one-ofs that are, like, slightly good. And it's like, you're just better off playing something that you actually think is going to come up. Like, if Nibiru is something that you're you're like, oh, this is a good card, I should be playing Nibiru right now, then you should probably be playing more copies of it than less. Because it's a good enough card to where you need it in your deck. Right? Unless you're... Yeah. Unless this card was at 3, in which case, then you can play like a bunch of cross-out targets. But it's at 1, so it's not really worth it. There you go. The Kashtira stuff is fine. But they should be replacing non-engine, not engine. And what I mean by that is, instead of things like the Molcharmies, like Nibiru, like Triple Tack, you instead play the Kashtiras. Right. You still need to see your sprite cards to do anything. Because, like, normal summon red alongside a unicorn isn't going to do anything. So you still need to see access to your engine. And again, one of the good things about Sprite is how well it plays into hand traps. So, by facilitating that, you're going to have a much better time, especially going first, because you're going to be able to play through additional hand traps. Whereas, like, with this, you're kind of stuck hoping and praying that you draw cross out and have the target for it. And that's kind of it. Which isn't great. Right? Whereas if, like, I'm also, you know, instead of playing the Hero Kid, I'm playing the Dark Beckoning Beast line, which is technically just one more card. I could do the whole, like, Sprite line, you know, without you being hand trapped, or I can at least force out 1 to 2 hand traps, potentially, right? So, you know, that's fine. Wraith Soth is honestly pretty good. Biggest problem is, like, it loses to Droll, but that's not really that big of a deal. Cool. And then the rest of this is fine. Yeah. This lineup's good. Okay. The extra deck is silly. It's goofy. It's bad. Herald of Arclight, Melfi, Merry Melfies, great. If you're going to play the Melfies, these are the 2 you play. I'm not a fan of Melfi of the Forest, but you do kind of have to play it. So, yeah, there you go. Play the Melfi of the Forest. Bada bing, bada boom. 2 Gigantic, good. 2 Elf, good. 2 SP is a bit much. I think you only need the 1. Realistically, this is not part of your end board. It's not something you want to make. There are better options. Pit Knight, I think, is honestly just better. That's pretty much it. I just think Pit Knight's just better. The thing about this deck is, like, there's a lot of good ideas that aren't executed to their fullest. Right? And a lot of the problems that I see, specifically for Master Duel, are prevalent here that could be very easily solved to make it more playable. And it happens a lot, especially in this, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to, like, play a win more card. And it's like, oftentimes, those end up just costing you games. Right. Example here is Hero Kid. Anyway, 2 SP is probably not worth it. It's better off playing Pit Knight. Pit Knight's crazy. Just play Pit Knight. Please play Pit Knight. If you have that extra slot, like, yeah, Pit Knight, or something else of that nature, right? I'm really not a fan of Underworld Goddess. I do not understand why we're playing Underworld Goddess. This could be anything else. Yeah, this is just... I don't know why this is here. I don't know what we're going to link off for Underworld Goddess, so there's that. These 4 cards right here are probably the worst part about this. Because it's really bad. Mosquito is a trap. If all of us fail from being hand trapped? What? How would you make this deck with his ideas? How would I... You know what? I can absolutely do that. Let me actually just take a screenshot of this. And let me... always either Goddess or Avramax. Goddess always comes in handy in Sprite. I have never summoned it. Not once. Okay, that's probably not true because I've played a ton of Sprite, so I probably have summoned it like once or twice during like Pearly format. But since Pearly has become not the top deck, I have never summoned this card. And I've never needed to. Because Sprite has a bunch of other options available to it. And the thing is, here's the thing with Sprite. If your opponent has gotten to a position where you need Underworld Goddess to out something, Sprite's fucked. You've already failed. You're cooked at that point. Right? So, like, if you get to a point where Underworld Goddess is a necessary card to be able to beat the opponent's board, good game. You know, extend the hand, shake it, move on to the next game. You're done. Right? Because at that point, there's probably not a whole lot for you to do. Sometimes you can play, but like because of the requirements of Underworld Goddess as well, it's extremely difficult. Typhon going to be decent as a last resort option? Yeah. That being said, like I don't hate Underworld Goddess. I'm just like, oftentimes there's a better option. Like, for example, Pit Knight and Sprint are both not in here. Two extremely good options for this deck. And they're just, like, not here. Right? So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, here are two immediate improvements, right? Let me look at the thing. There it is. Okay. Okay, I have his list pulled up on the side. This is a fun little experiment. Okay, so we're playing Sprite, Melfi, and Kashtira, which I don't hate, right? A lot of the ideas are solid. Sorry, not that. I don't hate playing the second red. I'm not a fan of Pixies. I'm just going to cut that. I think no Pixies is just better. Especially if we're already playing the Gamma Burst. I think that is a simple inclusion. Hero Kid I'm not a fan of, but if the opponent really wants to play Hero Kid, we can. Right? If that's like, oh, I think Hero Kid's exceptional, then like, sure, we can play Hero Kid. That's okay. I don't like it. For several reasons. But I'm like extremely opposed to it. I think it's just bad. Right? Again, because it's just kind of like a dead card. It doesn't do anything, doesn't force out any interaction, it doesn't, you know, help you if you draw multiple. It's just like objectively a dead card. Right. Well, what else was there? The Kashtiras. Kashtira. And then the Melfis, right? Oh, and Meow Mine. So, not considering the Kashtira, right? We have how many starters do we have? We have Blue Jet starter. Holy shit, that's it. That's it. Is Blue Jet starter. Am I wrong? Am I? Nope, that's it. That's rough. That's, like, really rough. That's, like, really bad. Okay. So, I'd like to have more starters. The problem is, if I add more starters, we cut non-engine. But I still feel like it's worth it. We probably want to play Dark Beckoning. Not that guy. Because that, at the very least, gives us a lot more that we can do consistently. However, with that being said, we will now have to cut non-engine. So, first things first. Let's throw in Maxi. Let's throw in Ash. Let's throw in Called By. And Cross Out. I'm also going to include Imperm. And that's it, technically. The rest of the cards that were in their list, besides these, were Pixies, and then the 4 crossout targets. Nib, Triple Tack, Fua, and Valor. Right? So, I don't think we need those. However, I do like playing Fua. I'm going to play 2 copies of Fua, just in general, and I think that's fine. I'm not concerned at all about Nib. Nib is not something that I want to play as like a crossout target, so I'm just like, nah, we'll cut that. I'm not opposed to also playing 4U1. I think that's fine. Pixies is unnecessary. It's just fluff, right? I actually prefer playing the second Carrot if I'm going to play one. I think, especially in this list, I'm less concerned with monster effects as I am spell trap effects. I think like a Heavy Storm or a Lightning Storm or something else of that nature, I think is more troublesome than I would say like a Kashtira or something else of that nature. Double Cross could work. Double Cross is never worth it over Smashers. Smashers is just always the search target there. For several reasons. The biggest one being it's a non-target banish. And it doesn't require you to have anything else. So you don't have to have an Exe, you don't have to have a link or anything like that. You don't have to have your zones open. You could just be like, go. Whereas Double Cross requires a little bit more extension or a little bit more setup, right? It's arguably better because you get the monster, right? However, oftentimes the thing that you want to take is something that's not actually going to be all that useful, right? So, like, what are you going to take? Probably some sort of, like, normal summoned monster that's already used its effect, like a Snake Eye Ash or something like that. Sometimes you can take, like, a Flomberg. Sometimes you can take a Kashtira Fenris, right? And that's, like, great. But that means that you're holding specifically Double Cross for those monsters in particular, which sometimes you don't have the ability to do. Whereas with Smashers, pretty much it says like, hey, you can use this at any time. That's the flexibility of it. However, the biggest thing is this is terrible to draw. Smashers, you can actually draw going second, and it's good. This one, just a dead card. Right? So that's the biggest advantage. In a best of 3, or in a format with like a side deck or something like that, well, more specifically in a best of 3, with or without side deck, better. This is better. In certain situations. Sometimes it's like not, because you don't really have like a good target to steal, but like oftentimes it is, because you can like get Tetsu Eret or something along those lines, right? Like you can get something off of it that's arguably stronger. But for the most part, in a best of one, in Master Duel, in a ranked ladder climb, you want to play Smashers. It's better to draw. You can use it to like dodge effects and stuff like that, while also generating pressure or like actually dealing with a threat, stuff like that. So yeah, Double Cross. Generally, I don't play it. You can, but I don't think it's necessary. Right. I like, honestly, also playing more than 40 because we are playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arguably 7. I'll just stick with 6. 6 dead cards we do not want in our hand. So going over 40 is going to help significantly with that. I don't think it's worth it to go well over 40, but it is still worth it to consider that and to like not keep it a nice clean 40. Do I stream on Twitch? I do, yes. In fact, I am currently live on Twitch as well. Anyway. What was I saying? Why did that go over there? I don't know. The extra deck I think needed the most help. Right? The extra was Herald, Merry Melfi's, Melfi of the Forest, Gigantes, Double Elf, Mosquito, Downard, Zeus, Typhon, Masquerena, SP, Underworld Goddess, which is something. Still infuriates me that people still play Gamma. Bro, people play Delta. It's wild. People play Gamma and Delta, which like makes sense. Okay, the extra is really bad, to be fair. First of all, I don't hate Zeus, but I'm not a big fan of it here because, realistically speaking, there's not going to be a great way or a great opportunity for you to go into Zeus and like use it effectively. However, if we do want to play Zeus, I do not like Mosquito. Let's talk about Mosquito real quick. Mosquito. Can't type. Mosquito. Oh. This guy is really difficult to actually make work as a way to OTK. However, reminder, this guy was playing Pixies, Gamma Burst, and Mosquito, which I don't like. That's a lot of ways to like OTK, most of them unnecessary. But specifically Shadow Mosquito, it is rather difficult to actually make the OTK work and to make it efficient. Because you need, I think, 4 bodies pretty much most of the time in order for it to work, and you need to basically be on like the same amount of life as your opponent. Just due to the nature of the way that these cards work, right? So real quick, let's read it. Can't be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Good to know. All monsters your opponent control must attack if able. Good to know. When an attack is declared, you can activate one of these effects. Detach a material from this card, and if you do, place a hallucination counter on a face-up monster your opponent controls. The effects of any, if any, of monsters with hallucination counters are negated. Great. So you negate the effects. Fantastic. That's just on attack declaration. Great. You negate. Fantastic. This is like kind of okay into Tenpai, but it's also absolutely not because I lied to you. You can only ever detach 2, in which case, sure, you negate 2 monsters, but they can also just tag out and like do a whole bunch of other stuff like that. So like it actually doesn't do anything against Tenpai. Right. However, the second effect is where the OTK comes in. Right. You can do one of these 2 things on attack deck. The second thing being inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of a monster with hallucination counter. So generally the idea is you attack into something smaller, put a hallucination counter on something bigger, and then you, with that hallucination counter, you inflict damage. The problem is, your opponent has to have at least 2,800 attack points, I think. 27, I think. 2,700 attack points, I believe. For 4 monsters to OTK. Or it has to be 4,000 attack points for 3 monsters, including the Ninja Mosquito, to OTK. Which is so incredibly difficult to get all of those attacks off and have it work. Okay? And also Yubel is a deck that exists, which makes this like ass. But at that point, you could do like a myriad of other things to also OTK. So it's like, yeah, you could also just like not make this guy, right? So for the most part, it's just like really bad mathematically to go into this guy to actually do the OTK. You can, it does work, but you're probably better off just not playing it, right? There's a ton of other options. One of which being Axis Code Talker. You could just like make Axis Code Talker and like that like still works. It's still strong, it still like does stuff. So I think Ninja Mosquito, not really all that worthwhile. However, if we do want to play Zeus, which I'm not opposed to, I think there is a better option. Downer. Is it that? How do you spell downer? I always remembered it being spelled weird. We can play Skycav, which is basically just a way to get Zeus. Pretty much it. It is a win con at the end of the day. I do agree. It is a win con. Like, it's not bad. It's one of those better this than nothing. But every time I've used Mosquito, it has never come up. It's just been like worse. Because it's such a specific scenario that generally speaking, you're better off playing something else. Right? You're better off playing Axis Code Talker. You're better off playing Zeus. You're better off just like Gamma Burst, you know, to like OTK the opponent. Or hell, Pixies is sometimes better. Right. So there's that. Anyway. Also, if you've gotten into a position where like you can Mosquito OTK, you probably could have also just like gotten into a position where your opponent's board is pretty much useless and you have full recursion of like everything and you can just kind of like wait a turn. So there's that. Anyway, the point is, I think there are better options. It's not that Mosquito is bad in Sprite, it's that Sprite has so many options and a lot of them are just better. Anyway, I like Skycav. I think it's fine if you want to like make Downer Zeus. It's just like better for the materials. I'm not too big of a fan of Typhon in this deck, but it is playable. You could play it. I think I'm just going to cut it. I think I would just cut the Typhon. If we still want to like hold to the general ideas of this, I think you just cut the Typhon. And we play Onibimaru. Onibimaru. This guy, if you don't know, this guy's crazy. All you do, you detach a card, target a monster your opponent controls, banish it until your opponent's end phase. This is fantastic. Also, he's 1900, which is surprisingly large for rank 2, which makes him a lot easier to just like punch over things. He's bigger than SP, he's bigger than like IP, he's bigger than a lot of like those just rather small monsters. He's even bigger than like opposing Sprite stuff. And even a lot of stuff in like defense position, right? Like he's bigger than a red. So there's a lot of stuff like that where it's just like that 1900 attack is surprisingly large, and it's really good to just punch him, kill him. Mannequin Cat's also a great one. We could also play, right? We do need SP and IP. Right. However, with that being said, I probably wouldn't play both Mannequin and Onibimaru. I'd probably play one or the other. because there's not really a great reason to play Mannequin Cat in this list. Like, there kind of is, but there's not as good of a reason to play it. I think I would probably cut Mannequin Cat. I don't think it's as useful in this list in particular. It can come up, but I would much rather play something like Access Code Talker, something like Pit Knight, something like what was the other Link 2 I was thinking of? Was it Link 2? I don't think it was. It's probably either of those two. We're gonna have Sprint, right? Yeah. I think that's pretty much. Yeah, I think it's a pretty clear cut. Pit Knight. Oh no, that was the other one. It's either Pit Knight, Access Code, or Buster, Jin Buster. That was the other rank 2 I was thinking of. And the thing is, Jin Buster is just, like, extremely strong. Would I recommend Blue Eyes for new players? Do you... Here's my question to you. Do you like Blue Eyes? Because if you are like, I really enjoy Blue Eyes, I want a good Blue Eyes deck, then I would say, fantastic. Wait for the anniversary. Likely we're going to get some Blue Eyes stuff. If not, I would say that it is worthwhile to play. Yeah, I think there's a lot that you can do with Blue Eyes, and I think it's pretty good for beginners. Absolutely. I think it's one of the more simple decks. So yeah. Jin Buster is crazy. It's just a monster negate. That's all it is. But it's something that specifically you can do with Blue and Jet. You just Xyz summon them into Jin Buster, and then you have a negate. So it's something where, like, you know, if we're going to do the whole, like, Hero Kid stuff, and we're going to have a whole bunch of materials anyway, you might as well slap 2 guys together and make another negate. Right? So it's just one of those things that adds to that power level. And I would probably play this over Mannequin Cat. Because Mannequin Cat doesn't really have, like, great targets, and it's not nearly as useful in this as it would be in, like, Tri-Brigade, or in, like, Runic, or something along those nature, where it's, like, being able to, like, Xyz summon using one of the monsters from Extra, or something along those lines. Right. So overall, this is probably what I would do. I think the main deck had a lot of good in it. I think the Extra was where a lot of decisions kind of get, like, crossed, and they're really... It's probably a lot of, like, not playing to the fullest potential. But yeah. Yeah. All in all, though, like, the biggest thing was not including Sprind, which may sound weird in this list in particular, because you're like, oh, what do we, like, Sprind Descending? Which I'll explain in a second. But the biggest thing is play Sprind. Sprind's crazy. It's very, very strong. You can even put it in part of your end boards to end on an additional, like, bounce, which is actually very, very strong. If you have a hand that allows you to go Elf early and then make Sprind after, it's extremely strong. Like, for example, if you go Elf, and then you use, like, Dark Beckoning Beast and another Sprite, you can make Sprind. Sprind can send Hero Kid. Elf can then bring back the Hero Kid. You special summon another 2 Hero Kids from deck, and then from there you can do, you can make Gigantes, you can make IP, you can make the Melfi of the Forest, you can do a whole bunch of stuff like that. So, you know, lots of stuff like that. But then you also get to end on Sprite Sprind as another bounce, which is something that I think a lot of people forget about, and it is won me games so often. It's very, very strong, because it's just like, it's also one of those things where it doesn't have to bounce the monster that was specialed, right? If another monster is special summoned while this card is on the field, detach an Xyz material, and then return, target a monster on the field and return it to the hand. I have even returned my own monsters to the hand to protect them from, like, big board wipes or, like, problematic negates and stuff like that. And, like, the Sprint bounce is extremely useful. So, lots of stuff like that. All in all, Sprint's great. The biggest thing is that oftentimes what happens with Sprint is it allows you to play through an additional interaction. In this deck, it doesn't. But if you are playing, like, the Nimble Beaver, or if you're playing the... what's the other one? If you're playing, like, Tri-Brigade or anything like that, Sprint is basically just another extender. Which means you can get hand trapped, like, 3 to 4 times and still end on, like, Elf Red Carrot. Which is crazy. Right? And that's, like, where the power of Sprint is. All in all, though, if I were to take the previous list that we saw, which was, let me pull it up, which was not nearly as good. Okay, I'm not going to pull it up there. If we take the previous list and we look at it and compare it to this one, it's the same ideas, just more refined, right? In fact, I'd even maybe play the third Fua, you know, and stuff like that. So, all in all, there you go. That's how you build Sprite. I've built so many of these decks. At least for Master Duel. That's how I would do it. In a best of 3, it's wildly different. And oftentimes, like, the lists look more like what my opponent had. But alas, there you go. I'm not a fan of Hero Kid. I will continue to say this. I think it's just bad. Mostly due to the fact that it just... you don't want to draw it. The Sprite Extra deck, I think, is something that genuinely trips up a lot of people. Because it's one of the most important factors in the Sprite, is what you can go into. Because it's a big toolbox, right? And if your toolbox is full of full of useless tools that only come up once in a blue moon, it's not very useful. But if you have a toolbox that maybe, like, has, like, an adjustable wrench, but it's not, like, the greatest wrench, but at the very least it's adjustable, so, you know, fits more situations, it's going to be more useful, right? Or, like, you know, if you have a hammer, maybe you don't need a sledgehammer, but just having a hammer of some kind is very useful. But then maybe you need something that, like, pries out nails, so it's better to get one that can pry out a nail as opposed to something that hits hard. Make sense? It was a really weird analogy, but yeah. I don't know. Sprite's very fun to build, so, like, I just enjoy building it. I'm going to call it quits there, though. I need to go to sleep early today, so that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like us very much, so appreciate it. And if you want to check out more content like this as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.